Everyone, welcome to Study Guide Forum. Today again, as we are doing the other time, we talked about how to analyze the work on some analysis. We also talked about the three stages of analysis, three stages of analyzing a compound in quantitative analysis, which is primary stage, test for anion and test for cation. Today we'll be looking at how we can test for anions. How we can test for anion. There are a few anions we are going to look at here. These anions include the hydrogen sulfide, the sulfide gas, sulfur 4 gas, sulfide gas, that is, hydrogen sulfide, sulfur 4 gas. We have a nitrogen, carbon 4, and all the rest of them. So now let's quickly go into this. Now, in exam, perhaps like I told you earlier on, if you are starting up, if you are preparing for alternative to practical exam, now when we have this is hydrogen sulfide. In hydrogen sulfide, one of the ways when you heat it with when you heat a substance with what? Dilute hydrochloric acid. That is what we mean by action with dilute hydrochloric acid. Now, when you add dilute hydrochloric acid to substance that contain sulfide, like iron 2 sulfide, when you add iron 2, if you add dilute hydrochloric acid in iron 2 sulfide, what you notice, what you observe is that there will be a gas that smells like a rotten egg. A gas that will come out smells like a rotten egg. In fact, when you heat it, the rate of reaction will increase. The gas will come up more and more. It smells like a rotten egg. And how do we identify this gas? This gas darkens lead ethernate paper. That means in lead ethernate paper, when you touch it, when you place it on the gas, you notice that gas will turn what? It will turn what? Black. The paper will turn what? Black. That is an indication that the gas you're working with is what? Iron sulfide. And also, if it's hydrogen sulfide, it means that it's coming from what? Sulfide. Do you understand? So that is one of the things you should note here. And another way of testing for hydrogen sulfide also is by using a strong oxidizing agent like potassium permanganate and then dichromate, potassium dichromate. These two oxidizing agents shows characteristic effects on this. For example, when you use potassium iodide, you notice that you have potassium permanganate. With potassium permanganate, you will notice that the color of the potassium permanganate will turn what? Colorless. But one thing unique about it is that if you have yellow deposit of sulfur, if the gas in question is hydrogen sulfide, that will be what? Yellow deposit of sulfur. If you use a potassium dichromate in testing for it, acidify, both of them must be acidified. Acidified potassium permanganate and acidified potassium dichromate. If you use potassium dichromate, it will turn green, from orange to green, then with also yellow deposit of what? Sulfur. Now, that is one of the ways, some of the ways of what? Identifying this very gas in question. And then when you see something like that, you know that it's coming from no other place but sulfide. All right, we go over to the next one. We have a sulfur 4 gas. Now, sulfur 4 gas and hydrogen sulfide, they have something in common. They have something in common. Note this thing. In that case, like I said, towards the end of this all this session, as soon as we are done with it, the next video that will be coming up after we are done with all these preliminary stages of test, we are going to be looking at some possible ways of looking at some possible ways difference between hydrogen sulfide and sulfur 4 oxide is that hydrogen sulfide will decolorize potassium permanganate with yellow deposit of sulfur, and then can also change the color of potassium dichromate from orange to to green with also yellow deposit of sulfur, while this other one, hydrogen sulfur 4 oxide, does not deposit sulfur. So that's one of the things. That's one of the different. That's some of the difference between this and the other one and hydrogen sulfide. Now, with potassium dichromate, it will also change it from orange to green without yellow deposit of sulfur. So these are some of the things you should know about these two substances. So now let's talk about this other one, carbon 4. Carbon 4 gas is normally characteristics of um, hydrogen triazocarbonate or triazocarbonate compounds. Whenever they react with dilute acid, they will liberate what? Carbon 4. And one of the this one is very common. Carbon 4 will turn lime water milky. Lime water milky. And now I want to go back to this a bit. That's something I want to emphasize here. That is in production of in test for sulfur 4 oxide. When sulfur 4 is produced, it simply means that what the compound there is a triazo sulfate 4 compound. Triazo sulfate 4 compound. That is where you can also liberate this. And where the triazo sulfate 4 compound is not available, you can also get sulfur 4 by heating copper turnings with corn tetrazosulfuric acid. So when you do this, you can also get it done. So now it has to do with what is peculiar with triazocarbonate for triazosulfate 4 compounds. Now we go down to nitrate. One thing about uh, nitrogen 4 gas is that it's always brown. It's a brown gas that darkens sulfur iron 2 sulfide. It makes iron 2 sulfide solution dark. When you bubble it into the solution, it will it will darken it. So that's how you can identify this gas. So the next one we're going to look at is the action with corn tetrasulfuric acid. With corn tetrasulfuric acid, most volatile gases, most volatile acids is always liberated when cork tetrasulfuric acid is heated with their salts or their compounds. For example, when cork tetrasulfuric acid is heated with, let's say, with any chloride, hydrogen sulfide is released. Hydrogen, hydrogen chloride is released. Chloride gas, hydrogen chloride gas is released. So when this thing released, you can also identify by the action with silver dilute and silver nitrate solution. With silver nitrate solution, when you bubble the gas into silver nitrate solution, it will turn it white to give you white precipitate. This white precipitate can can darken when you expose it to sunlight. But that's not the only thing about it. That is unique thing about chloride reaction with silver chloride. Now, there's another thing you should also know. The white precipitate does not necessarily mean is what it must be chloride. It can also mean that it contains what triazo carbonate 4 silver triazo carbonate 4 compound. So now how to differentiate it? You can then add um, dilute hydrochloric acid to this the silver precipitate, the white precipitate of silver, in addition of what bubbling in bubbling hydrogen chloride gas into it. So when you do that, if it's chloride, what will happen there is that the precipitate will remain. Once the precipitate remains, it means that what you have there is what? Chloride ion. So the next one we have here, we talk about with conc acid, you heat any compound that contains silver, nitrate, triazonitrate 5, triazonitrate 5 compounds will liberate nitric acid or um, nitrate 4 gas, which is always brown in color. Now, this can be also, you can test the presence of this effect can be intensified by adding copper tonics. Once copper tonics is added, it will increase the production of the liberation of the gas. Now, this can also be tested by either what we did here or maybe by brown ring tests, which will give us a brown ring around the surface of the test tube. So now this is what we have for now. Thank you for getting this far. Now there are more of these classes for now. I will going to give you more classes. More classes will be coming up in order to help you to really understand this. Like I told you, as we are getting after analyzing, talking about all these things, we are going to look into some um, preparatory exam preparatory questions, similar question, possible question that you're likely to see in these alternative to practical classes. Thank you for being here. And then if you have not subscribed, I want you to do that. You subscribe, and then if you can also like, share, leave your comment if there's anything you want us to know. And then if you really want to talk to us direct one-on-one, you can also go to the description section of the channel. Then you will see our Facebook page. In that Facebook page, you can also get a number to call us. And then finally, we have a blog site that you can also get some other information that might interest you. Thank you so much.